Greetings, this is Edward Ojambo. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use Stable Diffusion Generative AI via the Easy Diffusion UI. So before we begin, quick reminder that every day I'm hosting a live stream. What you do is you visit ojambo.com, then you go to the watch menu, then the live sub menu, that you can see the upcoming tutorials, live streams, the channel they're going to be on. And for each article, you can see here, it will have the day, time, it's always Eastern time, the channel. You're free to suggest any programming topics in the live stream. The channel is there. You have to log in. If you don't want to do that, you can watch the video. The video will be shown below. Be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. So Stable Diffusion is a diffusion-based generative AI. We're going to be using Easy Diffusion because it's an easy way to install Stable Diffusion on your workstation. Easy Diffusion provides a browser UI for generating images from text prompts and images. Settings can be tweaked to generate lower resolution images on lower spec devices. It's cross-platform. As you can see, it's for Linux, Mac OS, Windows, and on a lower spec devices. For example, as you can see, you need a minimum of 8 gigs of RAM, and your GPU needs to have at least 2 gigs of VRAM, or video memory RAM. I'll show you how you can also run it strictly on your CPU. It's going to be very, very, very slow, but it will still work. And I'll also show you all the settings you can tweak to make sure that you get good quality images. You can always upscale them. So the most important thing is to have good quality images because you can always upscale them. So Stable Diffusion, it has a license which is permissive, and obviously Easy Diffusion, because it's based on Stable Diffusion, it inherits that license. So these are the questions I'm going to ask it, request, and we'll see how well it does. So as you can see, my system here, it's an Intel i7 2600. I have 16 gigs of RAM. I have an NVIDIA GTX 950 with 2 gigs of VRAM. And as you can see, the results, I was pretty pleased relative to those results. And basically, I'm not going to show you how to, I'm not going to install it because it takes a very long time. I want to spend most of the time running Easy Diffusion and generating images. And I'm going to go through all of this and the screenshots. So as you can see here, I'm running, you need to have Python installed because most AIs, the user interface is usually based on Python language. So, as I said before, it's licensed under the Creative ML OpenRail M license, and obviously Easy Diffusion also inherits that license for the model, and Easy Diffusion is also permissive. Okay, now with that out of the way, I'm going to open up the command line. You see this is the folder where Easy Diffusion was installed, and on Linux and Mac OS type systems, you do need to run on the command line. As you can see here, this open up the install instructions. And now, as you can see, I have Easy Diffusion UI. So I'll go through this. So you see there's a Generate tab. It's on localhost 9000. I'll start with the End tab here. As you can see, this is where you can load more models, the LoRa models. And there's also the what's new. You can see I'm using version 3.0 at the time of this recording. And you can see it comes with a control nest, SDXL, multiple LoRa's, seamless tiling, faster than version 2.5. You can even use less VRAM. It's just going to be slower. One thing I do like, it comes with WebP images. Instead of outputting JPEG or PNG, which are not as compressed. And you can see the detailed changelog. Now we can help on community. It shows you how you can use this program, and you can also do more advanced. So this tutorial, the focus is to get you started. Now we go to the settings, and you see under settings you can change the theme. You can change a whole bunch of things here. So I disabled, or I think it's by default, the auto saving. I don't have it on because sometimes the images generated are not very good quality. So as you can see here, I'm showing you the best settings for low resolution or low spec workstation. You can use the CPU and the GPU settings is set to low. And this is in the Generate tab. So as you can see here, I'm just showing you the image settings. So obviously, the higher the resolution for the images, the slower it's going to be. So I'm going to set it back to the default, which is 512 by 512, because that also generates decent quality images. You can fool around with the settings, and you can see I change it to WebP. And then I don't enable scaling immediately because the image quality might not be the way I want. So I want to look at the image first before I enable the image quality. All right, next, what we'll do is I'm actually going to start creating an image, and I'll show you what the output will be. So I just click on Make Image, and you can see here on the command line the progress. Since it takes a very long time to because of my low spec device, I'm also using OBS, which is actually using the most of the GPU. So for this easy diffusion, I set it only to CPU, and you see it's going to be very slow. So what I did here is I'm going to show you some of the results. You see this one is the mayor of Toronto, and was correct because that's the former mayor of Toronto, Rob Ford. He was infamous. And this one is the picture of a chicken run. Again, you can see some of the issues. As you can see, the chicken run part is correct, but the chicken, you see, they have like two heads. One is missing half of its body. Yeah, so those are wrong. But I said the other part was pretty correct. And this is of a man wearing a watch. As you can see, one of the problems with all AI is that when it comes to text characters or, for example, numeric characters, it doesn't do a very good job, but everything else, the hand is actually pretty nice. Obviously, this is a picture, which is another way you can also speed up. Instead of saying a photograph, if you use picture, it will speed up and come up with decent quality. And here's one, I intended to generate this one for WebSockets, but instead it actually drew like a spider on some on socket. So that wasn't too bad. As you can see, the spider web is actually pretty nice. So that wasn't too bad. And this finally, I asked it to take a screenshot of the GNOME desktop. It kind of looks like Windows 7 or XP. So that's obviously the background image, which is fine. And you can tell, as I said, the AI always has a problem with generating some text type characters. You can see the text part is actually very unlegible. And you can tell this was also upscaled by the image size. As you can tell, because it's because I'm using the CPU, because the GPU is being used by OBS for this recording, it's actually very slow. Normally it would be much faster. Usually it takes about 2 minutes or less. But as I said, because the GPU is being used by OBS for this recording, it's much slower. As you can tell, it's probably going to take somewhere like I think 10 minutes or 11 minutes. Normally it doesn't take that long. So what I've decided to do is to show you some images that were generated using the Easy Diffusion. So as you can tell here, all of these ones, the JavaScript date objects, those are all generated by Easy Diffusion. As you can tell here, again, the problem with text or characters, alphanumeric stuff, it has a problem. For example, here you can tell this one I actually asked it to draw chicken wearing clock, and as you can tell, it interpreted a little bit different than I would have liked. But this one, for example, was a chicken staring at a clock tower, and as you can tell, it not too shabby, but as you can tell, as I said, it has problems drawing characters. This one I asked to do it a chicken crossing a road, and the road actually wasn't drawn very well, but the chicken itself came out actually very nice. Let's check on our easy diffusion. You see it's in 80%. It's still a little bit slow. And I said the reason for that is because of the GPU being used by OBS. So finally, the image has been generated. It's actually it's not too shabby. It's a low resolution one. You can upscale it. Upscale is faster. This is why I was saying I don't enable upscaling until I actually see the quality of the image. Then I will upscale it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare the upscale to the original low resolution image, and you're going to tell that you'll be able to see that it does a very, very good job with upscaling. Like you can't even tell, there's actually no loss in detail or quality. And you see here, I compare the upscaled image with the low res image, and there's no loss in quality. as you can tell, this is a common problem with AI. It also has problems drawing fingers. As you can tell, the fingers of this astronaut is missing like the baby fingers. And yeah, and the other thing is, you noticed it's supposed to be riding a horse, but I don't really see a horse on this one. But there's some where you will be able to see a horse. So some of the other options you can change are the image modifiers. You can also add the visual style, the painting. There's so many different things you can add. So as you can see here, I am making even a lower res version, and I also changed to picture, and I also added desert. So that's way too much to put into a low resolution image, and as you can tell, it's way faster, even just running on the CPU. So you see it's done even after I upscaled it, and the quality is not very good. So again, quick reminder that I have a live stream every single day. So you visit ojambo.com, you go to the watch menu, the live sub menu, you can see the upcoming live streams. Be sure to subscribe, like, follow, leave comments for more frequent content. And if you enjoyed this, you should consider supporting me. You can purchase one of my WordPress plugins at ojambo.com. You can enroll in my programming courses at ojamboshop.com. You can buy my programming books on Amazon. Search for Edward Ojambo. Links in the description. You can hire me for your programming and app development needs at ojamboservices.com. You can also become a donor at ojambo.com/donate. Thank you.